Welcome back to Bear With Me. The Boston Bruins are now 17-3-4, and that is good enough for 4th in the Atlantic, 7th in the Eastern Conference, and 15th in the National Hockey League. My name is Joey Copponi. That's Rob Tocci. Rob, what's going on, buddy?
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. We're brought to you by Prize Picks, the exclusive daily fantasy partner of the CLNS Media Network, and by Game Time. Take it to the best place. Buy tickets online, sports con. Sorry, favorite fans, the Boston Bruins. Look fucking good, dude.
Yeah,
they look
bro.
good.
Yeah,
They're looking
dude.
all right. Things are looking up after a road trip that you and I said. The second half of the road trip, after a pair of, let's call them what they are, shit pumpins.
Okay.
I'll say it.
You went there.
We said if they can get 2 points out of these 3 games, we would be happy. And Rob, they got 5 out of 6. I'm just saying.
That's okay. That's okay.
That's okay.
We said before we started recording, if you look at, this is probably the toughest 5-game stretch they've had all season, at least recently. And to a 5-game West Coast trip against 5 pretty damn good teams, and you end at 2-2-1, not awful.
Not
the
awful at
2
all.
regulation losses were terrible, and losing in overtime was so avoidable. That being said, 2-2-1, not awful. 5 out of 10 on a really fucking difficult road trip. Out of everything going on right now, not awful. Not awful. I feel okay. They're still in the mix.
They look better.
They do.
The standings are going to not reflect that. That is the thing right now, because the Boston Bruins have played more games than anybody ever has, and nobody else.
Yeah, there's only 5 games left. Oddly enough,
nobody else has played yet, but they're starting to now, and that's going to be a problem because the Bruins missed out on a lot of points that they could have gotten. They've racked up 13 losses in their first 34 games, but most of the Atlantic has played, I would say, on average 31 games. So right now they are in 4th. They're tied for 3rd with the Lightning, who have played 4 less hockey games. So it's a weird stretch where they're going to start, they have been winning, and they're going to be falling in the standings. So I guess ignore the standings for a little bit. It's early. And it's not going to reflect what's actually happening on the ice. But what's happening on the ice is the team. I hate to keep doing this, but I'm going to. They found it. They're back. I think they're back. I'll put the stamp on it. They're back.
I don't know. No, they are. Like they're better. If you took this team right now, compared to the team like from the first 1 to however many games Montgomery was here for, definitely better, noticeably better. They're just so dramatic, and they're just so. The inability to close out games and close out periods is tough. And that is why this loss to Edmonton hurts so much more, is because it was that classic Boston Bruins late game goal that lets Edmonton tie it. And as far as I'm concerned, going into 3-on-3 overtime with the Edmonton Oilers, that's a scheduled loss. Like, I did not expect to win in overtime or a shootout if it went to it. Although we've yet to go to a shootout yet this season.
Yeah,
10 overtime.
I kind of prefer it that way, honestly. Now that I haven't seen them in a bit, I'm kind of fine with it.
Yeah, that's fine with me. My reluctancy to say that they're back is simply because it's not like consistent 60-minute efforts, and there's still gaps in the team that trouble me. We can get into that, but they're so much better than they were. But you just know that there's still so many wrinkles to iron out.
I will say, over the last 10 games, Boston Bruins, although the 60-minute effort like you're talking about, maybe not all there, and those 2 losses, brutal, the 13-2 aggregate over their first 2 games of the road trip, they are 6-3-1 in their last 10. And since, unless I'm getting this date wrong, Since Sacco has taken over, the boys are 9-4-1.
It's a great record. It's a really good. That's a really good record.
9-4-1 over 14. I don't want to do the math, but it's a good record.
It's 19 points.
I don't want to do the math of like what that projects out to.
Oh,
like what pace that is. But I mean, you maintain anything close to that, I don't think you have to worry about a wild card spot,
which they are currently in as of right now. So I know you just saying don't worry about the standings, and this is the one thing I will say about the Atlantic right now. Yes, the Bruins are 6-3-1 in their last 10. The other 4 teams that they're in serious contention with for a playoff spot within the Atlantic are 7-3-0, 7-2-1, 7-3-0, 7-2-1. Everybody's playing really fucking well right now in the Atlantic, and it sucks, especially when we're like 4 games like ahead of the Tampa Bay Lightning, who, as you said, we have the same amount of points with right now. So not only do you still need to like maintain this quality of play, if not improve on it, which I do believe they need to, you're just banking on the other 4 teams in the division. The ones I'm referring to are the Leafs, the Panthers, the Lightning, and the Senators. You're just hoping at some point they slide and that they do not continue to play the way they're playing, which they're not going to. That there's still like more than half the season left, and nobody's that consistent in either direction. But
yes, I mean, I'm nowhere near worried about like that level of consistency from anybody else. Like, I don't know. I think that would be astonishing if the Atlantic was always going to be competitive.
Yeah, it is every year.
That competitive has like I kind of turned my nose at.
This is an off year for the Atlantic, and that is still how they're playing. That's like to speak about how good the Atlantic division is year after year.
Yeah.
At least we're not the Buffalo Sabres, also rocking
an
11-game losing streak, and they're playing Toronto. Playing Toronto this evening. State of hockey in New York right now, not good. Good.
Should we talk about that now?
The Rangers?
Yeah. Let's talk about it, because that is like one of the bigger stories around hockey, and I think I don't know. There is a connection just between Bruins and Rangers. It's just the original 6 stuff. I understand out of division and whatever, but there is. It's not a rivalry. I don't think.
My God, we can't do this again.
You do that. You like to frame it as one.
It's not a rivalry, but there is contention between the teams. It's
yeah. They're both very good teams in the East,
and the games are very entertaining, and they're typically physical and they're violent. Like, so I don't need to necessarily qualify it as a rivalry, but it has the hallmarks of one, which is really all I care about. Like, you can call it whatever you want to call it. I just want it to be an entertaining game, which they invariably are.
Yes.
But
I say all that to say, when something is going on in Rangerland, I want to know about it, and I want to talk about it, and I think it's relevant to the world of the Boston Bruins. A report from, what's his name? Vincent Mangione. What's his name?
Something deeply Italian.
Yeah, Vinny Capibianco. We should actually find his name if you don't. It looks
I'll
like
look at it. If you want to keep talking, I'll find it.
Thank you. I do appreciate that. Released a report really peeling back the curtain of what's going on in the Rangers organization. And if you haven't read it, go find it. Very good read. And there's
Vincent C. Mercogliano. Good Italian man.
People can give you the summary and whatever. Go and read it, because the actual language and the detail to which he goes in, so good. What the fuck's going on there?
Yeah, I think the highlight out of that article for both of us was that a memo was sent out by the owner of the Rangers, the Knicks, and MSG, telling staff members that they will be fired if they basically are anywhere near the team in any capacity other than like what is specifically within their job description. They cannot be on the same bus. They cannot be on the same plane. They cannot be in the same hotel. They cannot go out to dinner together. this includes like the social media team. So like as a Bruins fan listening to this, and you're aware, if you aren't aware, that there is quite a lot of content coming from the social media. Elaine does an amazing job with it. I think the Bruins are one of the forerunners actually right now with like social media content in the hockey league, National Hockey League.
Crazy, but it's very true.
But the Rangers are like, if you even look at him, I will catapult you into the Atlantic Ocean, which is just fucking crazy. Because apparently somebody was fired for that. And it's like one of those things you hear and you read and you're like, I'm surely missing so much context because that can't be right. That can't be right. Like, how is anybody doing their job with any amount of like comfort while you're sending out a memo saying, if you put one toe over the line, you'll be made an example of,
man.
And that's
God, man, try me.
Yeah. And none of that's to say anything about like Trouba getting dealt to Anaheim and immediately being like, yep, it's a rite of passage as captain of the Rangers to get traded, or Capo Caco being like calling out the coach for benching him, which it is a little funny to me that he was like, oh yeah, you pick on the new guy. Someone's like, this is his 6th year in the NHL. You're not new. Like you've been around, my guy. But neither here nor there, and then he almost immediately gets dealt out to Seattle. And I'm not so in the mix with the Rangers news that like the full weight and context of these moves was lost to me until like I read other people reacting to it. But generally, just like it feels like the Rangers are speed running their demise. When you think about where they were 8 months ago, bell of the ball, President's Trophy winner, like so much hope for them as a team. And then fast forward to later in the same calendar year, and they are just like bottoming out hard. They're like what, like 3-7 in the last 10, something outrageous.
It's crazy. Yeah, whatever the number is, it's not a good one. It's insane that, I mean, the Rangers regularly do this, that they will be so good and then just insist on shooting themselves in the foot. And like there's never a reason. It's always just like, yeah, sorry, we did it again. Like I don't get it. I don't get what the motivation is to do these things. I don't know. I don't know even what the Trouba motivation was, because I mean, are they not a competing team that like they're not in cap hell? Like you just trade your captain while you're like a very good team? I don't get it.
Yeah, it felt like they like hit one patch of difficulty and they like pretty publicly were like, we will sell anybody on this team. Who wants Trouba? Who wants Kreider? And I get, if I'm recalling this correctly, it's also like when the team made that known, Trouba like immediately disconnected from the team. He was like, okay, well, I'm out. Like I'm not in this. My heart isn't in this anymore. I'm totally paraphrasing, but
it's also
and like,
awesome.
how do you blame him? How do you blame him?
No, you can't. It's also awesome that like after the social media news came out, that that people were like, well, this makes sense why why all the footage that we've gotten of the boys entering the building is from fucking CCTV cameras.
It's like an ankle cam security monitor.
Yeah. And like, what is that? What are we doing here?
It's a courtroom sketch of them walking in with their suits on.
Do you think it was like there was a fight between players and somebody on the social media team, or do you think it was like I don't know. I don't like really want to speculate.
No, neither do I. I mean, I have a few thoughts that are full speculation, but
sure, me too.
That's what I said. And I don't know what would need to happen for that intense of a memo to go out.
I don't know, but I will say I'm going to go ahead and guess that it's an overreaction.
I don't even think it's a guess. I don't think there's anything that would happen that threatening that amount of people doing their jobs being around the team. Wouldn't it be an overreaction?
Don't go near the guys.
Oh my God, don't talk to them.
Holy shit, leave the players alone.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
So that is all to say, things could be worse in Boston. It could be a lot worse. It could be so much worse.
A lot worse. Things could be a lot worse.
Tyler Johnson, we hardly knew ye.
Tyler Johnson. I hardly knew her.
Nice.
Tyler Tyler Johnson.
Have you seen the tweet? It's like myrrh, like frankincense and myrrh. It's like myrrh. I hardly ner.
Yeah, I sent that to somebody because you
Unbelievable.
sent it to me. I sent it to somebody, and they were like, "I don't think I get it."
Yeah, that, you
It's
got
like,
to
never mind,
you got to
never
send that to someone who went to private school. Oh, it's
That
so
is
good.
good. That is good. That is good. Anyway, that's what's going on with
but yeah,
the
Tyler
New York
Johnson
Rangers.
gone, dead.
Tyler Johnson.
Not
Did
on
he
this
get
team.
claimed?
No, but he was put on waivers for the sole purpose of terminating his contract, and it was mutual, and he did not get picked, so he is gone.
It is tough because like I did foresee a world where he was a contributor to this team. I totally could have seen, like, how many times have the Bruins done that they grab somebody just like Tyler Johnson and just like revive them, and they just have this second life, and it doesn't even necessarily end with the Bruins. Like, it always kind of feels like the Bruins are the team to pick up somebody like that and then like propel them into like a twilight stage of their career, like kind of have this like second resurgence. I mean, people kind of even said that about Foligno. Like, Foligno is a captain now.
Yeah. He had a pretty tough first year in Boston too. So it did take him a little bit to kind of.
People are like talking about him retiring. He is now the captain of the Blackhawks.
I love Foligno. I miss Foligno so much.
I know, me too.
But we're kind of just doing that with Wahlstrom now.
Yeah.
Oliver, I don't know if you saw or not, but Oliver Wahlstrom, when he was 9 years old, scored a goal on TD Garden ice. If I have to see that,
I'm not like annoyed by that.
Oh my! I'm only annoyed because it gets posted every 6 minutes, and it's like, did you know? It's like, yes, I know. I knew so long ago. I knew from 12 minutes ago when somebody else posted it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just not seeing it.
Oh God, it's fucking everywhere. He needs to have like a highlight goal, so that's what we watch instead. I will say I did like his play against Edmonton. It was his first game playing for the team he grew up playing, so there's definitely a lot of like extra oomph. But workhorse, very physical, very involved, like just exactly what you want out of a bottom six guy. So far, so good for Oliver. But to go back to what you said about Tyler Johnson, I totally agree. Even based off of how he played in the preseason, I was like, yeah, like this guy could be like important for this team this year. He could, I mean, he could be like a Danton Heinen. I mean, obviously Heinen's a lot younger, but he could just be that like PTO pickup that like, wow, yeah, like he had like 30 points this year. Like that's more than you could really ask for a guy in that position. But
yeah,
unfortunately, it didn't work out. I'm glad that they are willing to just like, cut I can't think of the expression. They're just willing to officially move on. They're not really dragging this out much.
Yeah.
So Wahlstrom fills a similar role for cheaper, and I assume cheaper. But yeah, no, I wish Johnson the best. It's a shame it didn't work out, but I'm glad. But again, I'm glad the team is willing to recognize it's not working out and they move on. A lot of healthy scratches for Tyler Johnson, and when he came back in, he was like a -4. It's like, all right.
Yeah, it just wasn't working.
It's like what Clifton did in the playoffs a couple years ago. It's like he scratched a lot, and then he came back. I think it was like a -4, -5, and like the worst game of his career. And we're like, you're going to Buffalo, buddy.
Have fun.
You won't.
Have fun. You're not gonna.
Go back a look at it.
I actually, before we move on here,
okay,
I have something really important I wanted to talk about.
Hit me with it. Who's saying what?
It's just going to be 1 second here. Sorry, I'm kind of stunned at what I'm seeing.
What are we seeing?
I'm seeing that you can make your holidays bigger and brighter with Prize Picks, the best place to get real money action while watching your favorite sports. And you can now win up to, get this, 1,000 times your money on Prize Picks. How bananas is that? Prize Picks now offers MasterCard for quick and easy deposits into your account this sports season. Join now because this holiday season, Prize Picks is giving away 2 free picks in December, and they're giving away $30+ million in rewards during Picksmas. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win. The $50, it's guaranteed. It is guaranteed. PrizePicks also offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts, like Taco Tuesday. Each Tuesday, PrizePicks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value for your lineup. Do you think Connor McDavid will get more than 0.5 goals next week? Austin Matthews for more than 2 points?
Yep.
Yeah, I would say so too. Cook up hot takes with your friends and win real money this hockey season when you and your crew run your game on PrizePicks. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app, use code CLNS, and get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. Run your game.
Do it.
Do it now, dude.
Boston PD.
Boston PD, get down. Now. Do it now.
Now. Oh, God. I could just quote that the rest of the episode.
Yeah, we're just going to do the whole bit.
It's a good bit.
Is
Matt Poitras ever going to play for Boston again?
I'm not positive. I think they might just let him win the AHL MVP and then just waive him.
It's fair. I did see a good post. Someone was talking about like the AHL is a development league. The NHL is not. And as good as Poitras is, he's not done developing. He's not. Yeah, it's like you could cash in now, but if you let him mature a little bit more, it's probably worth it in the long run.
He's already played in the NHL. He's already been here.
I don't think he was going to get a call up during this West Coast trip, but I think it's very possible he gets called up when they're back home.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why he wouldn't. I don't think he's developing just by rocking the
7-game goal streak ain't doing it for you.
Yeah, I don't know why I don't think it's developing. I think he's just better than the AHL players.
It's entirely
I think
possible.
He's an NHL player.
There's also a lot of comments about like him developing chemistry with Merkulov and Letteri and Lysell, and that like if those are going to be the Bruins in the future, it's really good for him to be developing that chemistry now as well,
so that he can leave before them and then play with them in a year.
Correct. Yes.
How about playing where it matters right now? I don't know. The team needs goals now. They need it now. Like if you weren't going to make the playoffs, or if you were so comfortably in playoff position, if you were one or the other, I think it makes total sense that like, yeah, there's this guy who like very solidly could be in our middle six, but like we're just going to give him a little time to marinate, either get him ready for the playoffs or hey, keep him down there for a year. Like we'll push all the chips in next year. Where the Bruins sit on this like edge of contention and like needing a push and having trouble in the exact area where he's excelling and deciding to not play him is nonsense. It actually doesn't make any sense because that's what you need. You have it, and it's time to push the chips in. Do it. It makes absolutely zero sense to me. I'm having a tough time like just accepting it and being like, yeah, well, he's got to develop. He was here already. He played like what? He's been in the National Hockey. He's shown you that he can do it. He was a step slow this year. So was everybody. Why take it out on the guy who could be in high school when
he was a step slow, so they sent him down. He's been kicking everybody's ass.
It just doesn't make any sense to me. I'm upset about it.
Tell you where there'd be room in the lineup.
My friend's kid.
Tell you where there might be room in the lineup for him. I am of the opinion that Trent Frederick is due for a healthy scratch. Super pedestrian game against Edmonton.
They are not going to do that before trading him.
Yeah, they really are going to trade him. I still believe they're going to trade him this year. Probably at the deadline.
Like they would. I can't imagine them healthy scratching.
Yeah, because the reports apparently like he and the team are like not even the same stratosphere with like what they're looking for a contract. So it's not going to happen. I've made my peace with it. They're not going to pull DeBrusk again and just let him go. So he's got to have to get dealt, and I think they're going to do that probably at the deadline or right before the deadline. But back to what I said,
he's garnering like a lot of interest.
He is, but people are also like that could just be like his like agent saying all of this to like artificially create that interest. Where like if people think there's interest, they're like, oh, should we be interested, or like should we up our interest, or
I don't know.
At the same time, he's a good enough player and plays not unique, but like there's not a ton of like players his size that play the way he does when he plays well. That like I think they'd be able to get a good amount for him. But again, just speaking about the Edmonton game, so fucking pedestrian. Like there was like multiple shifts where all I did was watch him, and he was just out for a skate, just out for a little stroll, like not getting involved in the play. Just like I swear, I watched him go up and down the ice like twice and then just get off, and I was like, all right, man, like maybe next time. Just not noticing him really at all. Kind of like the play dies around him a lot, whether or not it's like directly his fault. It does a lot. He scores in bunches. He's a streakier player. Like, it's the team that had their struggles on this trip, but he very much stuck out to me. Opposite end of that spectrum, Mark Kastelic is a fucking rock star. He's the man. Love Mark Kastelic. He is so fucking good.
I think I take back what I said about the 7th player award.
Do you think it's like Kepke's. Definitely his?
Yeah,
Kepke got scratched last game.
Yeah, so I think that's I think that's fair for me to. I think it's very big of me to walk it back. Actually,
yeah. The only way that he won't win it is if they don't call up Poitras and he doesn't spend the rest of the season with Boston just lighting it up.
Yeah.
If I still think if Poitras came in now and had a really, really, really good rest of the season, they would just give it to him because he is such a fan favorite.
Yeah, but he's not ready for the big leagues, dude.
No, he's still developing.
He's developing.
I'm of two minds on it. Like I see both sides, and I don't truly know where I fall on it. I think I'm just protecting my heart because I want him up so much. But I'm like, don't get your hopes up, Rob. Don't do it. How many times can we talk about how Jeremy Swayman's not playing well enough? Worst goalie in the league right now in terms of like expected saves. Is that what it was? Like goals saved above expected, and he's like minus 13.
Yeah,
worse in the league.
It's not looking good for Jeremy.
No, it's not.
Despite this stretch that we were just talking about, where the Bruins are winning hockey games. I did see somebody say if you take out the Vancouver game, was that the one that he played? One of the two blowouts. I think it was the Vancouver game. The 8 goals.
The 5-1 win. Well, the Kraken game, I think.
The Kraken, is that the one that I'm thinking of? Yeah, I think it's the Kraken game where he allowed 8.
Sorry, that wasn't the Kraken. That was Winnipeg.
Yes. I saw that if you take out the Winnipeg game, since Sacco took over, he has like a 915 save percentage.
All right, that's fine. Did you see Olmark lately?
No, I haven't.
His numbers are like ridiculous, like 970, like in his last 7. Like he's on a fucking tear right now. Awesome. He struggled at the beginning, but he has very much found his game.
Good for him.
Just because we can only talk about the Jeremy Swayman thing for so long, because there's nothing really new to say. I am very much believe the 3 games against Ottawa. I think there's only 3 games left against Ottawa. They're going to be brutal. Because it's been a while since the Senators games mattered, and they really fucking matter this year.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that in case you're new to the show, I was going to say our theory. It's not even a theory. It's
our
just
observation.
Ottawa games, always weird.
Weird.
It's yours. I'm stealing it, by the way. It's Rob's.
That's fine.
But it is, I have been convinced. Excuse me.
Something about them.
They're always weird. Always something going on.
Yeah, just like high scoring or just I don't know. It's always different. There's like something very unique about those games. But I think the Ottawa games this year are going to be brutal. We play them twice in like 5 days in January, and I think that's going to be pretty wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Just gets briefly back to Jeremy. Just like, what do you say? It's you got to be better. Like you're letting in goals you shouldn't be letting in. Like that second goal against Edmonton was tough. It's disappointing. I'm surprised he got the last 2 starts. I genuinely thought they were gonna start leaning on Korpisalo a little bit more. I know Swayman got the win in Calgary, and then. By letting up 3 and then let in 3 against Edmonton, and that was enough to lose it. But I don't know. It's troubling, and it doesn't look like it's getting better. It's not like he's trending in the. I mean, well, you said if you take out the one game he lost awfully in, he's doing all right. But I just, even the eye test, it's like he hasn't taken over a game, I think, once this year. He has very, very few saves. You're like, holy shit. Where like Korpisalo's got a couple, but he's your backup.
Yeah.
It's just, he's not there. And it's, again, we're so past the point where it's a training camp issue. I don't know how to diagnose. He's got something undiagnosed, but something ain't right.
It is very similar to when Pasta is off or when Brad is off.
Yeah.
Where you're like, he's not bad. He's not a detriment by any stretch. I get, Pasta has his moments. It's more like, I'm so used to seeing you be a star. Where are you? Like, I'm used to seeing.
Where are you?
And I'm so sorry, but I can't sleep. I can't dream tonight.
Cannot dream tonight.
There is just a noticeable lack of star power coming from Jeremy Swayman, which should be your
star.
He should be absolutely one of your stars. So it seems like nitpicking. They're on a hot stretch right now. If they're going to maintain it, they need him, because pulling up this secondary scoring is or any scoring has been the struggle. If they're going to maintain it, it's got to be coupled with like stellar goaltending. So, I don't know. Also, we talked about them maybe evening out the Korpisalo and Swayman games. They're not doing that.
No.
Wrong. We were wrong. So
yeah, since those 3 games since we last spoke, it's 2-1 Swayman.
Yeah. I guess we didn't like predict it as we more.
No, we just thought it
requested
could be.
it.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, like a lot of 8, 3 goals allowed isn't awful, but like, I don't know. Again, it's the eye test for me. It's like I don't watch this play and I'm like terribly like confident. Some of the other boys looking pretty good.
You know what's looking really good?
What's looking real good, dude?
Togetherness.
Like cohesive, like among the team?
No, just like the concept of togetherness. Do you agree?
Yes, obviously.
Game Time is focused on togetherness this holiday season. That means when you bring people together at live events, the experience is that much better, and it's the perfect gift. That sentence just rolls off the tongue. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for live events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. That's how I spend my time on ticketing apps before I found Game Time. I used to scroll through thousands of tickets. It would take me like 12 hours, Rob. I would spend
a long time, day
and night. I would, like, the cock would crow, and I would go, oh no, a day has started, and I haven't found tickets to my sporting event or concert. And now with Game Time Picks, they filter out all the fluff. The all-in pricing tool, dude. Toggling this feature shows the total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. You get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy. I actually love that one. I've always loved that one. And the lowest price guarantee the Game Time has. They will credit you 100%, 110% of the difference if you can find a better deal. Because you're just not going to. You're just not going to. Download Game Time, dude. Download the app, create an account, use code CLNS, get $20 off your first purchase. You thought the deals were good before? Take an additional $20 off. Terms apply, obviously, but download the app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it, dude?
Game time.
Yeah, it's game time, all right.
Game time.
Want to look ahead?
Yeah, sure.
Because I just sent you something.
We are tempting fate with this.
I know.
Operation Cakewalk.
That's better. I'm going to change it to Operation. I have it as Mission. I'm going to change it to Operation Cakewalk.
I'm glad I misremembered it.
Yeah, it's way better. That is the name that I'm giving to this.
The 5 games to close out the year.
To close out the year with Operation Cakewalk. The Bruins' next 5 games. Buffalo Sabres, Washington Capitals, Columbus Blue Jackets, Washington Capitals, New York Rangers.
Are you including the Rangers in that? In the,
I included the Rangers in that.
That's fair. Okay. Well, yeah, they are struggling as
They are big
as we alluded to.
Yeah, we might have mentioned that once.
Yeah.
I legitimately, Rob.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say 10 points in this stretch. 10 out of 12
10
points.
out of 12. 10 out of 12.
10
Damn.
out of 12 points in this
That's
stretch.
more than
I'm high on the team right now. I really am.
More than I will.
I'm high on the team, and I'm high on drugs.
I want to say 8 to 9 points.
That's probably more realistic.
Yeah, I'm not going for what I want. I'm going for like what I think they'll probably do. I almost want Buffalo to win tonight against Toronto because the pressure of playing against a team on a 12-game losing streak is weirdly high. And it would be so Boston Bruins to lose that game on home ice to a team that just lost 12 games in a row. 12. I'm assuming 11. And then Washington, Ovi's going to be back by then too, also. So watch out for him. Yeah, and then the Columbus games I think are going to be bloodbaths for some reason. I don't know why. Just a back-to-back, home and home. Like I think there's all it's going to take is in the game on the first game, the one that's on the 27th, is like one questionable hit. Mm-hmm. And then they're not going to let it go for the next like 6 periods. Castlick is going to take some numbers in these games, I think. Mm-hmm. And I would like to see Wahlstrom getting involved. He has been. He was quite physical against Edmonton. I even clipped one play. He was very involved.
He was.
So I'd like to see that continue. Because again, he even said, he's like, I'm going to have so much adrenaline. I'm playing for my hometown team. It's like, cool. Your debut game, I was impressed. Let's see how much of that energy we can keep up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you say 10 out of 12. That would put them in pretty fucking good position right now, I think.
It really would.
It really would. Especially like those 4 games between Tampa and Boston is like killer. To the point where I'm like, if that swings the wrong way, like they could be very, very difficult to catch.
Yeah. And like that is also something where like I just have faith in Tampa to like not slow down. So if a big gap comes now,
they're playing Florida. They have a back-to-back with Florida this weekend or Sunday and Monday. Florida, I've kind of made, I don't need to win the division this year. I don't give a shit about the first place. Just get into the playoffs. That's kind of where I'm at. Mm-hmm. So I don't mind Florida running away with the first. I kind of don't. So I would like to see Tampa lose both of these games to Florida.
Sure.
But then they play New York and Montreal and San Jose. So, there's 6 easy points for them. But it's a dance right now. But, but with Boston, it's to go back to our original question, like, are they back or not? I still am in I need to see more phase, which is crazy halfway through the season. Be like, I don't know how I feel about this team. But there's just so much inconsistency throughout the lineup. And lately, Elias Lindholm's popping off right now. He went like 12-3 at the dot against Edmonton. Like his goal was like stupid good. Like fucking picking the top corner from the boards. The boards. Yeah. Mark Kastlik also shouted best goal of his career, I would assume. That was an awesome goal. Very Kastlik. Just like you earned it. Like that was skill, but you also like worked your ass off to be in that spot to begin with. And Marchand, I think he's playing really well. Pasternak's doing fairly well too right now. Like even like the numbers and the eye test are looking solid. Defensively, I like what we've been seeing from Carlo and P. Zadorov. I've been liking his play. He did get walked on last game by Connor McDavid.
Yeah,
which that's okay. Whenever McDavid scores, I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like I'm not going to be like, whose fault was it? I'm like, it's nobody's fault. It was Connor McDavid.
It's God's. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, but also Swayman probably should have made that save. But it's Connor McDavid, so I'm not going to be.
Yeah, I'm not about to get on Sway for that.
No. And Mark McLaughlin, I'm glad he's still with the team too. I think his hustle has been really good. I wouldn't be surprised if he just, the Bruins are constantly, there's a lot of influx, efflux with the team. So I wouldn't be surprised if he sits for a game just to let somebody else come in. But generally pretty good. Yeah. Braz. I'm loving Marchand with Brazo. It's Marchand, Lindholm, Brazo has been a really cool line. I really like the play style among the three of them. I just think Brazo's puck retrieval and his size and board battles fits so well with Marchand, who does the same thing with like a fraction of the size. But yeah. And yeah, Koepke getting healthy scratch too. We kind of like let's see how Wahlstrom does. Koepke is probably not he's a pretty good example of like, you're not like awful. That's not where we're scratching, but you should be better. And we think this is like a wake up call a little bit. Like,
yeah, I mean,
he strikes me as a guy that will respond well to getting scratched, assuming he gets into the lineup.
I hope he does, because I'd be pissed. I'd be like, dude, I've overperformed like crazy this year. Maybe leave me in. I don't know, but I'm also not in the league. What? If I didn't twist my damn knee, I'd be out there. I think we should meet and talk Monday night. What do you think about that?
I can do that.
Post game Monday after the Caps game.
Yeah, I can do that.
All right, so we'll be back to talk after the Sabres and Capitals games. A third of the way through Operation Cakewalk. I really like this chapters thing. We should do, when the schedule releases for next year, we should go through and just chapter out the whole, because I think that's like engaging to be like
I will say that might be difficult because a lot of it is like contextualized by how the teams are doing in the season. Like this is right. Operation Cakewalk because they're not doing well this season.
Right. Yeah, this might just be the way to do it. Is that
just as it comes. Like, I've been liking this.
Yeah, and then I'm thinking about putting them all together.
I was going to say, and at the end,
we have
a little book.
Yeah.
The story of our inadequacies.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah, thank you.
It was a fun one.
It was good.
Boys are looking good. Boys are feeling good. We love you. What?
A lot.
Thanks for chilling. Thanks for being our friend. Thanks for,
bearing with me. Goodbye, Tyler Johnson.